Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope the videos are helping you in your designing process. If they are, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Tap on that notification bell for further content. Leave me a like, and absolutely, please leave me a comment. And also, if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, down around this area, there's a super thanks button. Go ahead and tap on that, and you can buy me a cup of coffee. Mastering MatrixGold, a smooth transition from Matrix, our third session on March 12th, 11 a.m. Central Time will be coming up. It's coming up quickly. I'll post the registration in the link in the description below. So please go ahead and fill out that. If you are an active member of MatrixGold Academy or Gemvision Academy, you are more than welcome to attend the live stream. It'll be 1 hour, and we are going to dive in a lot. So if you're making that transition from Matrix to Matrix 8, 7, 9 to MatrixGold, this will be a good one because we're going to go in and talk about a lot of differences about the curve menu and all the curves and a lot of different commands and options that you have to work with in each of the curves. And we will also be designing some things, so please go ahead and fill out that registration link in the description. Again, March 12th, Tuesday, 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Please check your local time zones. Love to see you there, and go ahead and leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue with our Clayoo, and we already did all the primitives. We went through and talked about all the primitives, and we talked about all the Clayoo commands as far as selecting and point editing and lines and stuff. But there's a ton more, right? So we're going to continue on, and we talked about the pen face. If you have not watched that video, I highly recommend it because there's a lot in there as far as how to be able to use it and all the options you have to be able to use that. And we will go into designing some things with the pen face as well at a later date. But today we're going to focus on from curve, okay? Before we go ahead and activate Clayoo and everything, we're going to go ahead and set this up. So we're going to go to Tools. Grab a ring rail, and I'll just go ahead and accept the size 7 there, and we'll go to gems and put a gem on our ring rail, right? And I'm just going to drop this down a little bit, just a little, and then put it at 5.5 or something like that, I guess. 5.5 should be fine. And I'll just right click and accept that. So that'll be our gem that we're going to design this thing around. And we need a curve, right? From curve, right? So we need to go in and grab a curve, and I'll just use the freeform curve, and I will make sure my creation layer is activated for the curve, keep it all organized, and that my gumball is off. And we'll keep snaps on for right now, and we'll go ahead and select there, and I'll just follow this ring rail up with the curve to give it some shape here, and I'll go ahead and disable snaps now since we're around our stone, and we just want that to come in so that we can kind of channel set it a little bit, and then and it doesn't have to be perfect at this point right now because we're going to do some other things with it. So we'll just go ahead and click here, and now right away what I'll do is click on it, and we will do a rebuild right away, so we can get a little bit smoother curve, and we'll try 11 points and see how that is. And you can already see that it's a little bit better, and we will go ahead and activate points, and that is not really going to give us very much in there, so we'll just go ahead and turn our gumball now and kind of bump that up so we can get a nice little seat there, maybe a little bit more. And we'll kind of give it a little bit better shape, and we'll just go ahead and grab this one here, and we'll delete that and just use this one here to get this curve a little bit more the way we want it. So something like that, yeah. You know, you can play around with this however you want, but this is kind of, I'm not going to make this perfect, but yeah. This is okay, I think, and maybe this one down just a little bit more and in. Okay, so we'll just say that this is what we want, and we'll accept that. I'll get rid of those points by hitting escape. And now we'll go ahead to our Clayoo, and we will activate our Clayoo. And now we will go to our creation, and we will go from curve, and it says select a curve, so we'll select this curve, and it goes out in one direction. And we have enough. If you get something like this, you can just go ahead and add more segments in there to be able to get it closer to your curve. You don't want a ton more, but you want to kind of keep it as close to your curve as you can get. If you go to smooth mode, you can kind of see it a little bit better, and as you add more, it bumps it closer to the curve that we have out there, right? So we'll just go ahead, and we have one, and that's fine. We'll just go ahead and take that and hit OK. And we are in smooth mode, so let's change it to box mode. And now we're going to kind of focus in on let's take this. Let's go to our select the entire Clayoo object, select our Clayoo object, and we'll just go ahead and turn this to green. And we'll take that yellow curve, and we'll just go ahead and hide it. We just want to deal with the Clayoo surface here, and the pink lines are because they're naked edges, right? So now we'll go to points. And in our perspective, we'll kind of pick our point, and then in our right, we'll kind of play around and manipulate it. So I'll go ahead and click that point here, and then I will drag it way over, very, very close to that other center line, right? And then I will just work my way up, kind of just, so I have this, I can use that arrow sometimes, not always, but use that arrow as far as kind of getting it in a line, right? And let's see this one here. You can see the pink line follows that, so we know where our point that we want to manipulate is at. And we'll go something like that. And this one here, bit over. Yeah, that should be okay. And because we can play around with these, so it's no big deal if you don't get them perfect the first time. And Clayoo, you rarely will get it perfect the first time. And we'll drag this one over. I'm watching my top view right here because I do want a little lip over here. Not a ton, but a little bit. And I'll grab this one and bring him over a little as well. Okay. So I have something like this, and we have a little bit too much, or maybe not enough, one of the two. So we'll go in here and play around with it a little bit more, kind of get that to be a little bit smoother. Maybe grab this one here and drag him over, and then we'll go to smooth mode, and we'll go to shaded mode to kind of see what we've got, and that's looking pretty good. But you can play around with those, no big deal. We're going to go ahead back to our full object, and we'll go back to our square mode or boxed mode, and we'll keep it like this for right now. Okay. Now we're going to introduce a new command in the edit. We're going to go to edit, and we're going to come down here to symmetry. And we're going to click on that, and it'll say select our Clayoo object. We'll select our Clayoo object, and we'll hit enter like it's asking us to do. And then we will, we'll just go to edge loop, right? And I'm going to go ahead and hide my ring rail there. And I'm going to select this edge. I'm going to hold down Control and double click on this one. And now I have that entire edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And it gives me both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter again, right? So we have that. And it's pretty wide there, right? So we need to clean it up a little bit. So we're going to go back to our point mode. And now when we manipulate something, it should be worked out on both sides. So if I take this one, the other side will move in with it. This will be a 2mm shank, 1, 2, right? I'll take it to maybe like somewhere around a 2.5 or 1.5. So it'll be like 3mm. And then we'll just kind of work our way up. First couple, I'll keep very close together for the most part, and then slowly branch them out as we work our way up our Clayoo item. You could draw a line out there and turn off your snaps and use that as well to get it as close to the same angle. That's another option that you could use. Okay, so we have something like this. Let's go ahead and turn off those points. And let's give it some shading to see what we've got. And we'll smooth it out a little. So now it kind of swirls in. Still maybe a little bit too much. So let's go back and let's bring it in some more. So I'll turn back to my points and we'll start back at the bottom again. And just kind of bring those in maybe a little bit more. We'll look like this one, just bring it in around I want a little bit more in a 2, I think. Maybe we'll go back to box mode, it's easier. Kind of move it in to give it some taper on both sides, right? You know, you can do it slow or you can grab a bunch, but I find, you know, the more time you take on setting it up, the probably the better it is. So, you know, don't be in a hurry with Clayoo. It doesn't take much, and you don't have you can go back, you can redo things, but you're not able to go back and manipulate like parametric history. And we'll say that's okay. So let's take a look one more time. Let's give it some shading and let's put it in a different light. That's ghosted mode. So let's put it in here and then smooth it out. Okay. So we'll say something like this is good. And it's right, that little point is right in our middle, right? Okay, so we have this. Let's go back to here. Let's go ahead. Now we have to end that symmetry, right? So let's go back to our creation layer. Or edit rather, sorry, and go down here to symmetry and then click on our Clayoo object, hit enter, and then just end our symmetry. So now that we have the one item out there, right? If you don't, sometimes you can get 2 items and it kind of gets a little crazy. So just be aware of that. And if we go to smooth mode, you can kind of see what we've got going on here. Something like this, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we'll go back to our edit and we're going to show another command here. And right around here, it's shell. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit shell and it'll select our Clayoo object. That'll be this item and we're going to hit enter. Okay, so now we have the shell going around it. And it's not going to, if we, you know, bump it out to the thickness we want, maybe, wrong direction. So this direction here, we were on this side of it. Now we're on this side, which of the ring rail, right? So that's what we want on this side. If you bump it out to like the, you know, maybe a 2.5 or something like that from here, if you go up to the top, it's really going to jack it all up. So you'll want to take it maybe a little bit thinner here, just so you can get that up here in a nice little loop, right? And because we can always go back in and manipulate it. So I'm going to say something like this is good for us. That's like a little over 1 millimeter in there thickness. We'll bump it up just a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, maybe not that much. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and hit enter on this. And we will go to our box mode and turn back on our points, right? So now when we select the point, let's go to wireframe here. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to take this point and then bring him down so he's pretty close level with my plane there. And then I'm going to select both those points and I am going to drag them down, right? And now we're going to give it some thickness here. So we'll go ahead and bump it out. Let's see, something like about here and just kind of work our way up. If you use the yellow arrow, that'll take you in the norm to the normal of the surface, right? Oh, I did see I selected one and not all of them. Be careful. You want to grab them all. And we'll just kind of give it some little thickness down in here. and just keep working your way up. And I'll take this one here. And we'll do a little bit on this one here, not that much. I want to keep this kind of thin in here. Now you can go in there and manipulate that as well. Let's turn on our shaded or our smooth mode, and let's take a look at it. So, I mean, you can go in there and manipulate those two if you wanted to, you know, maybe make this thinner in certain areas. You could do that. So you can go in here and kind of bump them back a little bit if you wanted to give it a little bit more character or shape, depending on what you're trying to go for. Go ahead. This. So we'll just bump these up a little bit, kind of open this up just a little bit. Kind of play around with it, find out what works good for you. And we'll do that, something like that. Let's go ahead and go to our smooth mode. Yeah, that looks okay. And we'll change it to our total item. And now we have the side of the ring pretty well taken care of, right? A nice little, and you can still, a Clayoo is just very, very nice and smooth, right? That's the whole thing about Clayoo. It just gives you a really cool, smooth surface, right? Now, you want to keep it as close to your ring rail as possible. So let's go back to box mode, turn back on those points. And I noticed maybe like right in here, we could probably bump that out just a little, kind of clean it up, just get it real close to our ring rails. And we'll go back to smooth mode, take a look at it. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, all right. So we'll go back to this mode here, our whole item, Clayoo item. And we'll go ahead and say that's what we want for that one. All right. And you can take this one if you wanted to transform just to see what it's going to look like, and then hit enter so you can kind of get an idea as far as what kind of make sure it's good. We're going to get rid of this one a little bit later, but we have it out here, so let's go ahead and use it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is go to my front here. I'm going to go to my curves. I'm going to grab me a circle from F4, make sure my snaps are on, my quad snap, and I'm just going to put a circle right over the top of my ring rail, right? And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my ring rail. I'm going to grab me a line curve, and I'm going to start at F4, and I'm going to take it, I'll turn off my snaps at this point, take it up something around here, and I'll take that, and I will mirror it over to the other side, and right click, and then I will take that circle, and I will split it with those two lines there. All right, and then hit enter, and then we'll just get rid of this part here and this part here. And I still have my ring rail hidden over here. So we'll just go back to this piece here, and we'll go to ghosted mode so we can kind of see what's, well, we'll go to wireframe. It's probably just as good. And we will go back to our Clayoo, and from curve again. Right, and this time we have it on one side. This time what we're going to do is turn on symmetry. All right, so it's on both sides, and then we're going to just kind of bring that in to wherever we want that to go. And that looks okay. It's my stone's hidden. You can play around with that however wide or thin you want it. I'm just going to go ahead and say this is fine, and we're going to hit OK, and we're on our total layer. So we'll go back to our edit, and we will go to that shell command again. Wait for it to activate. Select our Clayoo object, and that'll be this object here. And kind of watch which side it goes to, and we'll hit enter, and it took it to the bottom, so we want to take it up to the top. Not that thick. kind of where that ball is right there is where it's going to end up being. And that looks okay for me, I think. Let's go ahead and put it on some shaded mode so we can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and hit enter. Right, so we have our Clayoo item out there for the most part. Now we're going to go ahead and get rid of this one here. We don't need it. Okay, so we have the parts of the ring that we need, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to convert. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just convert these to nerves, right? Because there's something here we'll have to pay attention to a little bit later, but we want to go ahead and change them to nerves for right now. So we're going to go ahead and select our convert drop down and hit nerves, and then select the Clayoo surface to convert to nerves. We'll just go ahead and select this one here, and we'll hit enter, and then kind of wait for it here. Did I not? Okay, we'll do it one more time. I don't know if it, no, okay, so we'll go back there. All right, so maybe I hit the wrong button, I don't know. Convert this surface here, press enter when done, enter. Okay, and do you want to delete the original object? We're going to go ahead and say no on this, and then we're going to select our Clayoo. That's our closed poly surface, so let's grab our Clayoo object. I think that was it. Yeah, Clayoo. We're going to go ahead and hide that, and here is our closed poly surface. I'm going to change that one to green. Okay, and then we'll go this, well, before we do that, we'll click off of it. We'll go to convert, we'll go to from to nerves, and we'll select that surface, and we'll hit enter, and we'll do the same thing. We don't want to delete it, we're going to hang on to it, and then we'll collect that Clayoo surface there, and we'll hide it, and we'll change this one to a little bit different green color, right? So now we have a closed poly surface here and a closed poly surface here, and if I go to like a smooth mode, you can kind of see what's going on. And I'll take this one. Well, now, let's go back. We don't need Clayoo anymore. We're done with Clayoo, so we'll turn it off. We'll take this one, we will go to transform, we will mirror it over to our other side, we will hit right click on it to accept it so we have both sides, and we have all poly surfaces out here. So now we need to kind of finish it up a little bit, so let's go to shaded here. Let's grab a curve, and let's grab a, I'm going to right click on this and go from F4 so it goes to both sides, hold down shift, draw it past my items there. I'm going to select these two items, and I am going to split, well, probably better just to do a trim. So we'll do a trim, we'll go ahead and select these, and we'll go ahead and select these, and hit enter, and then select that curve and delete it. We don't need that curve, so we have two open surfaces there, right? And before we do anything else, let's go ahead and take care of this next part, because right now, if you look at, we have this is not really probably going to be a good thing. Now we could have used another command in Clayoo to put those together, but that's going to be at a later date. It's really easy though. What we're going to do is just show you a little trick. I'm going to go ahead and select a curve, and I am going to click somewhere over here, hold down shift so it goes straight across, and click there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to split it with this here and hit enter, right? So now I have this surface and I have this surface, and both of them now are open. So I'll take that first surface and I'll just type in CAP, cap, and make sure it's capped, closed surface, and then same thing, CAP, cap. So now this one's capped as well, closed surface. So now we have two closed surfaces. Okay, so what we're going to do now, since we have two closed surfaces, we'll just go ahead and join those together, Boolean union them, right? So we'll grab this one, hit as our first surface and hit enter. This is our second surface, and hit enter and enter. And we need to get rid of that poly surface on both those. So we'll take that, we'll go to this color here and just hide it, and we'll grab that one there and dump it in here. And now we have this, and it's all cut out there, right? So we can get rid of this thing here, and we don't have to do the same thing. We can just take this one and mirror it over to our other side, right? And then we can, since this is a closed poly surface now, and this is a closed poly surface, let's go ahead and do the bottom here. We close these off. We need to open them back up. So I'm going to shift control, select that one and select that one, and I'm going to delete them. All right. And then I'm going to go back to my ring rail, and I'll select my ring rail, go to my tools, throw a profile out here, and we'll bring that one down to the bottom here. And we'll just go ahead and keep that, but we want to bump that up maybe 2.5, and I'm going to make it a little wider so we have a really cool bottom of our shank there. So it kind of blends out a little. So we'll take that. Right now we need to get some curves for those openings, right? So we'll come down here to our object. We will go to duplicate edge, go to our front view, and we will just select, well, before I do that, let's turn it to red, select all those, and select all those. And I grabbed them all, and I don't think I grabbed anything extra, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and then join those together. So I have two closed curves. Okay. Now we dupe those, right? So more than likely our seams are going to be jacked up. So let's go to our edit tools and check our seam. So adjust close seam, and we'll just go ahead and hit enter on this one, and there you go. That's our, and we'll bring that one kind of right in here to the center. Let's go ahead and turn on snaps, and we have our mid on, so right there in the mid, and we'll hit that one there. We'll come down here and check this one, and that one looks okay. And we'll come over here and check this one here, and we need to manipulate this one on around to our mid there, and that should be okay. It should give us a good surface. So let's go to surface, sweep one. This is our ring rail, first profile, second profile, third profile, and enter. And we don't need any of this over here. And now we have a nice, where it comes in and goes back out kind of shape, nice flowy surface, right? So oh, that's that line. Let's go ahead and hit enter here. So we take that and we'll grab this and we'll change that down there. All right, so we got this, and this, and we will join those together. And we have a closed poly surface, and we have a closed poly surface there. So we're going to go and do another Boolean union with those two surfaces. So we'll go here, enter, we'll go here, enter, and enter, and we'll probably need to grab that one surface, and we'll switch that to our peach. And we have that there. And last thing we might want to do, I don't know if it's necessary, but it's probably not a bad idea, is go ahead and pick our gemstone, go to our settings, and maybe we can throw some gemstones on there. So we'll do an under bezel, and we'll kind of manipulate our under bezel so you can throw some gems on there if you wanted to, coming around, 1, 2, or 3 maybe, depending on what you want. It's, you know, totally up to you. And we'll kind of maybe bump that down just a little, and we'll get rid of some of that dome. Something like that, perhaps. Let's hide our center stone. Yeah, that looks okay. And we'll go ahead and accept that. And then you can do another Boolean union if you want to. A Boolean union, this here. Oh, we got two surfaces out here. So let's grab that one and turn that one to peach. Okay, so we got this surface. Select our enter. This is our second enter. And give it a second here. Figures I get this far and something happens. There we go. And we'll hit enter, and there we go. And if you go to your smooth mode, we have a nice little organic smooth ring going on. So hopefully this will kind of give you an idea of the power of first Clayoo, and then a little bit of an introduction into our from curve and what you can do. And there is so much you can really do with it. So but it'll get you started, and hopefully this will help. And if it does, please go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. Good designing.